Pat McCrory says he's the best man for the job and has the best chance to win. He calls his decision to run a tough one. He says he expects attacks from both Democrats and Republicans.
I'm going to run for the U.S. Senate.
The former one-term governor who served as mayor of Charlotte for 14 years announces his intentions to run for the U.S. Senate on his morning radio show, presenting a familiar GOP message.
Making sure we're protected at our borders, making sure we have a strong defense of the military, making sure that we have affordable taxes and lower taxes.
McCrory didn't forget to mention the former president, making several references to Donald Trump during his radio show.
We're not going to play the cancel culture game. That was one of the great strengths of President Trump, was he didn't care about the cancel culture. We've got to listen to the blue-collar worker out there that I think the last administration did such a good job in doing.
McCrory launches his campaign video on social media, attacking Vice President Kamala Harris and what he calls the radical left over such issues as open borders and higher taxes.
I'm Pat McCrory, and I think most of you would agree that right now Washington has no common sense.
High Point University political scientist Martin Keifer says it seems early to have big names entering the Senate race, but
I suppose it shouldn't be too much of a surprise because this is a big prize.
Keifer says the bigger the field of candidates, the more unpredictable the Senate race becomes. One candidate considering the race is former President Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump.
That may change the fortunes of some other people, who might have been hoping that their relationship with the former president would help.
A new GOP poll finds Lara Trump with a double-digit lead in the North Carolina Senate race. She's followed by Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, Pat McCrory, former Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest, and former Congressman Mark Walker. McCrory, more than any other North Carolina politician, is linked to the controversial law known as HB 2, the bathroom bill. Not surprisingly, Mr. McCrory didn't mention HB 2 today. And in 2016, on the campaign trail for governor, McCrory grew tired about questions from reporters on HB 2.
You know what? I'm going to move on to any questions about, because I think people want to hear about what's really happening in our schools, not the issues that the media seems to be focused on.
According to Republicans I spoke with today, McCrory faces another hurdle. They claim that he burned bridges with the party while serving as governor by nominating Democrats such as former Greensboro Mayor Keith Holliday to high-paying state jobs. McCrory named Holliday to the North Carolina Utilities Commission, a position paying over $100,000 a year. High Point political scientist Martin Keifer says Republicans stand a good chance of holding on to the seat of retiring Richard Burr, noting that the party not in control of the White House traditionally does well in midterm elections. In Greensboro, Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.